and welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. Tea and Conversation Live. Go ahead on and share, like, and subscribe to our channel here on all of our social media platforms. We're in our third season, and I am so excited to have on with me my pastor, my friend, Pastor Elvis Piggott. Um, Good to see you this afternoon.
Good to see you. Good to see you so as well on this great
Yeah,
busy
you
afternoon.
absolutely stay busy with so many things going on in the community. People pulling you from one thing to the next, helping out in so many ways in the community. And I wanted to have you on because we're coming up to our primary, which is August the 3rd through the 16th. And we want to make sure, and I have to say this again, we want to make sure that people get out and vote. And I know that you have been a part of the process many times, encouraging people to get out and vote. And wanted to ask, what is to you, how important it is to get out and vote, and why should we have this definitely on the front of our mind in reference to getting out to vote for this primary and into the general.
Yeah, elections have always been important, but more so now than ever. It shapes your politics of your community. It shapes the desires of your community. When you think about community, you think about who you elect to actually sit in those seats. At the end of the day, that if your interest is not their interest, your interest would never be dealt with. Voting is so significant because it allows you to be a part of a process to see the real work start. It starts with us learning those candidates, voting for those candidates, and being engaged in that process. That's how it starts. And it is so important for us to get out and vote because it allows the actual elected official to know that we are concerned, we're paying attention, and we are looking and we want matters addressed. If it's ever been a time to really horn in and focus and go out and participate, it's now.
And with that being said, over the years, I know candidates come to you, candidates want advice from you, candidates come to talk to you in reference to how to get started sometime, even if they should, if they should throw their hat in the ring and run for office. How has that been over the years with people coming to you wanting advice in reference to running for office?
The first thing, I sit down with people, and when they come, and they want to have that conversation, for me, I want to know their heart. If the truth be told, I don't want to know their party. I want to know their heart. What is pressing on you? What is that very thing that is driving you? What is your driving force? What is that dramatic situation that has happened in your life that has geared you to realize that the time is now? I want to know about that because at the end of the day, once you put your name in the hat, you would realize that candidates, once they run for office and they put their name in the hat, they adapt to everything around the communities and everything that they hear to try to be all things to all people. That kind of candidate is
Mhm.
worrisome. You have to jump to that candidate that says at the end of the day, this is my why. My why, I can hear other things, and I can address other things, but my why is that pressing issue that has been plaguing our community. And that's what I sit down with them and hear about their why and ask them to see it, do their why align with mine? And if they why do not align with me, does not make it not significant, does not make them not a good candidate, but perhaps it may not allow me to push as hard because I'm looking for someone that can align with youth and community.
And that goes you're deciding on who to vote. I know you look for the heart, and I've been with you a long time, and I've been in a number of spaces with you for years, tea and conversation for sure. So what is like the most important thing? Because I know you drill them down. I know you talk to them inside and out. I know you meet with them more than once.
Hmm. I think the very important thing for me is transparency, being authentic. Can you look at me and
Mm,
say that you
yeah.
know that African American people have not been treated fairly? You may not have all the answers to how that can happen, but have you been under a rock that when you hear African American people gripe, as they will call it, complain about injustice, complain about affordable housing, complain about lack of
Mm-hmm.
jobs, complain, why you may call it complaining, do you realize that your counterparts, whether you black or white, if you're black, do you realize there's a struggle? If you're not black,
Mm-hmm.
do you realize that your counterparts has been treated different than mine? If you can't have that tough
Mm-hmm.
conversation, you're not really someone I can support because you're trying to politic from the beginning. I just want transparency of authentic behavior. I just want you to realize at the end of the day, we're all trying. And everybody that looks like me
Mm-hmm.
is not wanting a handout, but has really tried their very best and have not been given the opportunity to sit at some of the tables or to benefit from some of the programs that others have been able to benefit from. That's what I look for first. Can you be
Mm-hmm.
authentic? Can you be true? And can you be transparent that we are different?
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you: do you find yourself, when it's not an African American person running for office, finding that you have to educate them about issues that goes on in African American uh, neighborhoods, families, the struggles of finding a home, affordable homes, or whatever the case may be? That could be across the board, but finding that space where you can talk to them about the struggles of African American people, which we know is different for most.
If the truth be told, Candy, the real reality, majority of all of them, I have been a part of a lot of the campaigns. I have supported a lot of candidates. Um, they don't have any recollection, and they don't even know, and they don't have any familiarity what a everyday African American person go through. They don't know. They haven't lived it, and they haven't even experienced it, and they don't have friends that have lived it, and they don't have a
Mhm.
circle that relates to it. That's just a reality. Some of these candidates, the first time they get in contact with African American people is from when they decide to run for office. That's the reality. That's majority of them. That's why before I can support them, I want to know, are you open to listen? Are you open to understand? Are you open to allow your heart to lead when you are exposed to what you've never been exposed to?
Mhm. That leads me into this one here, which I do this as well. Like when someone's running for office, they're new in my community. I go check out their Facebook page and see. You can go back, I don't know, 3 months, 9 months, and see if they're African American friends, African American colleagues. Do they go out to dinner with African American people? Because I go out with everybody. So those are some of the things that I kind of look at. And then as time goes on, they participate in the community. They start participating in the community. And then you see that now they do have some African American people, friends that they start to, be with, hang around with, include in their circles. So how have you seen that evolve? When you check out their Facebook page, their social media platforms on the front end, and then as time go on?
Well, Candy, that's a good question because oftentimes what I do, often I don't really jump into their Facebook. Most times I look, just like you're saying, a lot of times I look at not just their Facebook, but I look at the real reality of who is on the team when they announced, right? Who joined their campaign? Who's at the kickoff? Who's at their beginning? Who's starting with them? What their team is made of, right? Some of majority of the candidates does not have teams that is reflecting of the community they are representing or wanting to represent. A lot of them go towards what they think is beneficial in order to win the campaign. And it tells you something because oftentimes African American representation is not beneficial to them to represent them on their campaign. And that's why they'll show up to African American events, but African American representation on their campaign is always hiding. It is never out front and it's never shown because they only show what they believe is beneficial to help them win. And that's why you have some that is willing to take a picture or get involved at a kickoff or something of that nature when they believe African Americans is beneficial. They'll put only in the Black community, and that's whether it's the Florida Sentinel, that's whether it's something else, and that's a red flag for me. I like you not to be ashamed or believe that you only need Black friends in the Black community. I need you to be able to reach across and say, I have friends over here to bring here. I got friends over here to bring here. How many of the candidates bring their counterparts over to the Black community and say, come on, let's knock doors? Those things is what I look for. Those things, it's telling. It's very telling when dealing with the campaigns. It's telling when dealing with candidates. It allows you to know their heart.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you and I have been a part of a number of kickoffs in the community, and that is definitely something that I watch when I am at the kickoff. How many people in the room look like me? So that is definitely something that I make sure that I pay attention to too. Beyond voting, what are the other ways citizens can stay involved in their communities?
Um, Reaching out to their representatives, right? Learning, knowing who your representative is. Oftentimes, I was talking to somebody the other day about lieutenant governor. They don't even have an idea who the lieutenant governor is. I was talking to someone about District 5. They don't know who sits in the District 5 seat. They don't know who sits in District 3. Learning your representatives, making sure that you know who represent you. That's first, and making sure not only do you know who represent you, but making sure that you are involved in what they are actually doing for you and your community. That is the ways you really could stay involved. Outside of voting, it's making sure that you learning the process, understanding the process. I know we work, I know we have a lot going on, I know we have to take care of our children, but I need to make sure that I know resources and who is in this seat that's supposed to be making things happen on behalf of my neighborhood, on behalf of my community, and on behalf of my family. I need to make sure I know. If you're not voting, hey, knocking on doors during election time, not only knocking on doors, phone banking, calling your neighbors and friends. When we hear phone banking, it seems as if, whoa, what that means. Let me tell you, that's just going through your contacts and dealing with everybody that you know, making sure they're registered, making sure that they are going out to vote, just making sure that they're involved. You don't have to even call strangers. If we start with what's within our phone and with what's in our reach and ask our friends to do the same, this is how we can participate in the process.
Hmm. Absolutely. And with the young people, have you been seeing that the young people are starting to get more involved? And if they are or not, how are you trying to reach out to the younger people? And I have
Okay,
to say that's maybe under 40, because I think you what 30 late 30s.
late 30 down there, late 30s down there. I'm late down there. But look, 38. So at 38, What I have also done with millennials and also our younger generation, with our younger generation, our teenagers, and with us,
Mhm.
what I've done is I have always reached out to candidates and said to candidates, hey, I know that you're going to have canvassing going on. You're going to have these things. And I want you to allow us to be a part of that process. Because what that does is you have to have that conversation with the canvassers. You have to tell them a little bit about your candidate. You have to make sure that they're knowledgeable and they can buy into who they're knocking on doors for and leaving flyers on voters' doors. So for me, one of those ways to get them engaged is to one, meet the candidate, meet the representative, meet the elected official, deal with them, sit down with them, whether it's taking them to the courthouse, whether it's taking them to the public defender's house office, whether it's taking them to the clerk of court. We have been part and been fortunate to take people to these locations, meet these people, and then you want to learn about them because it becomes wow, that's crazy what they do. Let me tell you what they do, and let me tell you how we can also partake in constantly being involved and helping them continue to do what they do on behalf of our community, allowing the candidates to allow us to canvass and work for them.
Mhm. Absolutely. We know we have early voting coming up August 3rd through the 18th. Will you be out at any of the polls, helping out with any of the candidates in the city?
I always say no. I'm not going. Oh, I'm not going to any polls. I'm gonna just be. I'm going to vote, of course, by all means. But I tell you something about August 3rd. The moment August 3rd come and it's 7 a.m. Well, it'll be 10 to 6. I believe it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The minute that first poll open and you go, you can't stay away. I go from one poll to the next poll to the next poll, and the more people you see coming, the more fuel you get, the more on fire you become, and you just begin. Before you know it, you've been out to the polls for a whole 6 hours, from one poll to the next, from Andrews over to West Tampa, from West Tampa to Brandon. It's just something about it. From Tempe Terrace, it's good. It feels good. Jane Plaque, I have a great time. So in scheduled, I have no polls, no candidates I'll be at the polls for. Unscheduled, unofficial, 9 times out of 10, I'll be at the polls from the 3rd to the 16th. I'll be at the polls. At some polls somewhere, talking on behalf of a candidate, asking voters, and I'll be live telling them to come on, meet me at the poll. Let's go vote and let's make sure that the right people get in these seats. Because, Candy, a lot of our people on the ballot will not be on the general election ballot. If we don't vote for them now, August the 3rd through the 16th, early voting, vote by mail as of now, and August 18th, they will not be on the November ballot. So we don't get to do a redo. We have to show up now.
Mhm. Absolutely. I know that the early mail-in ballots have gone out. People have started sending those ballots back in as well. And I want to, encourage people: do not let it sit on the dining room table. Get those ballots. If you want to mail it back in, mail it back in, or you can take it to one of the supervisor of elections office. Just walk it in, turn it in. Don't, because a lot of times people wait. We don't want to wait till the last minute. Also, early voting. Go vote early, because anything can happen on that day of election, which is August 18th. We could have a rainstorm. Anything can happen. So going out early, making sure that you are making sure that your vote count. So yeah,
I'm going out to
even that
canvass.
August 18th in the city.
I'll be
I'm
out
sorry.
canvassing. I said I'll be out canvassing today. I've done some canvassing this morning. I'm gonna be doing some more canvassing. Got my little canvassing packet, knocking on doors for one particular candidate. So I'm telling you, it's time to get on the ground, everybody. Let's get on the ground. Let's do what we do, and just really make sure. They talked about this. I'm gonna throw this in. They talked about the redistricting, and they talked about how awful it was because it's trying to redistrict African American seats. But if you think about it, Candy, that when they redistrict and draw those lines, and you have a majority of African Americans that they have redistrict, the reason is because we don't vote. If we get up and vote, regardless how those maps is drawn, we get to determine what Republicans sit in that seat. Black people get to determine what Democrats sit in the seat. We get to determine, regardless of what, we can look at the Republican and say, hey, if you don't deliver for us, we'll make sure you don't get that seat. We'll go for the next one, the next round. And so it's one of those things that is not about how they draw maps. You still in control if you go out to the poll.
That's a good point. I know I've been speaking with people in reference to making sure that they are voting and taking their voters ID card, voters registration card, or their license with them. What have you been hearing in reference to that, of possibly having to take your passport and so on and so forth? Because I've always just taken my license if I can't find my voter's registration card, because I go early as well.
And I've always took my passport. I've always took my passport to vote. I've never voted with my license. I've always voted with my passport. I think identification,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what is the difficulty of having identification. You have to have it on the streets every day. You have to have identification on you. I think it's necessary. I think it will work. It's good. We have our identification. We go vote. Early voting, all you need is your identification. You can go to any one of the polls. I think sometimes, for me, if the truth be told, we make hazardous problems out of things we can just deal with or fix or we can adjust to. Because again, it is important. It's no need of having a situation of IDs or identification everywhere you need it. I could not just do a tour of an apartment complex without first giving my ID. And that is for security reasons, for them to know who is touring the apartment and where. If anything happened, they know who was touring that unit. And so I think we should, everyone, encourage to have your identification. And most people that make a big fuss out of it already have their identification everywhere they go. So let's just show it. Let's go vote and let's continue to build and have real issues that we can fight, because I promise you, identification isn't one of them.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that as well, just having your ID. I was talking to a couple friends a couple weeks ago and was saying that their names was changed because they've gotten married, so they can't bring in their ID. All of the different changes that has been made. I know that we've had enough time to make sure that you contact your supervisor of election office and make sure that you have everything that you need lined up before election day. We cannot wait to election day to try to fix those things. So making sure that you have everything in order before election day.
And working with the airline, Candy, those kind of excuses I call a cop out. You can't fly that way until your identification is fixed. So you have to fly and purchase your ticket under the identification that your identification is. If you get a new name change, you have to change your identification. If you don't change your identification, you won't be flying on the airline. So some stuff we know. It is just it's natural. It is just the way the process go, and you could get married and you have 3 days. When you get married and you sign that birth certificate as the pastor, guess what? I give it back to you. That marriage certificate. If you lose it or you misplace it, they don't change your name until you submit it. So when you know you submitted it and you know you got your license, that you're now married, you follow the process and realize that you have to change all your identification. You go, that's the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And you ought to do it with joy, especially those that's been married. You ought to be so excited to get that old name off and put that new name on. Woo woo, because you married now.
Absolutely, absolutely. With that being said, we're live here with Pastor Elvis Piggott. talking about the importance of getting out to vote. We have our election coming up, our primary August 3rd through the 16th, and election day is on August 18th. And you want to make sure that you are getting out to vote. Elvis, is there any last minute things that you would like to add? You want to make sure that people follow you as well. You come on quite often, once or twice a week, depending on what's going on in the community. And you do some amazing live videos as well. Normally at 9 p.m. A lot of times I miss it, but then I'll jump on because I see your red light on and join the live. So is there any extra you want to add to the conversation? You want to definitely make sure people get out and vote.
Want to make sure they vote, want to make sure that they catch two things. Make sure that you are focusing on your school board races, that's nonpartisan, and your judge races, that's nonpartisan. We cannot, and I'm so serious about judge races. Let's stop allowing people to shape our lives and we don't vote. We have to take a part in that. When those judges sit on that bench, make sure you remember they work for you. When they mistreat you and handle you any kind of way, make sure you realize they work for you. Let's make sure we are intentional about voting in our school boards. If you can't call and get things done, let me tell you something. We are in trouble when we exclude school board and when we exclude our judge races. So let's horn in on that and make sure that you vote for people that is going to fight for you. That's the bottom line. It don't get any simpler than that. Not someone that want to be a part of an establishment, not someone that want to be seen or need a job or a paycheck, but someone that has a why, and that is to fight for the future of where we're going. And that's who I'm supporting. When you see me talk about candidates, when you see me posting slate cards, I've talked with these people, I've drilled these people, and they know that my heart desire is to see the success of our young Black men in our community rise from where we are. We got a long ways to go. I appreciate you so much, Candy, for all you do. And thank you for
Let
the
me,
tea and conversations.
yeah, thank you. You know what? You mentioned a word accountability. And a lot of times when I hear the word accountability, I just want to scream because elected officials, when they running, you hear accountability. I want you to hold me accountable. But once they get into office, they want you calling them out. They don't want you talking about what they're doing. They do not want you to share certain things. They really do. They really want you to hold them accountable. And what has been your experience in reference to holding elected officials accountable?
Oh, I do that with great joy. It's no elected official that I am connected to that they don't know that I'll hold them accountable when the rubber meets the road. I'm so grateful, and I call this one person out because I deal with them so much because so much happens in our community. Our own sheriff, Chad Chronister. Many people could say, and I make it clear, I support him not because I'm his friend. I support him because I'm able to hold him accountable. I have many times called and made it clear this cannot happen in our community. This cannot happen on behalf of our African American people in our community, our African American men. And I want people to know where you may never see a text message that we have text. I want you to be very clear to understand at the end of the day, it is direct to simply say, regardless of how I like you, our kids and our community has to feel respected, has to feel valued, and cannot be mistreated. It's not about me. It's about the holistic approach with how we are handling things. Victor Chris, the clerk's office, it's the holistic approach. When you walk in there and those clerks are treating you as if you're less than, Victor Chris, I expect you to hold them accountable because I'm going to hold you accountable. When you're walking in a courtroom and those public defenders, those lawyers don't seem as if they even caring about your case, Lisa McClan, I want to hold you accountable because that's your responsibility to make sure everybody is treated with respect. And so I'm grateful to be able to hold them accountable, but we're grateful that we have a great host of elected officials that we all can call, that loves our community and to do anything for our community. But we have to keep going and keep voting people in that we can connect with. Candy, you taught me something. If they don't give you your cell phone, if they don't give out their cell phone, you might want to second guess whether you want to vote for them.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard in the past, which I don't hear it now, is I have two cell phone numbers. Let me give you this one here. I don't want that one right there. I want the personal cell phone number, because they get rid of that other phone when the election is over.
Yeah.
And then we can't find them, which, that's not good. That's definitely not good. Elvis, if you want to let everyone know what they can find you at on social media, I know you have Pickett in Politics as well, which is an amazing page. I'm hoping that you get that up and really, really going strong again on that page and doing your lives again. You're absolutely amazing. The children need you. They deserve a better. You say that quite often in our city, and has been one of the few people that have been on the front line with young people in the community, including my own son. So I just want to say thank you publicly, but I do this quite often, is say thank you for all that you do for the community and all that you do for the young people. I hear so many people call you, DM you. I can be on the phone every now and then with you and say, oh my, I gotta go. I got another call from a parent or someone that needs some advice. I need your help in certain ways. And you just have been an amazing young man for young people, with no judgment, and many sacrifices you have made for young people in the community.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you guys can find me in prayer because that's where I have to stay. And get wonderful. We got to keep praying, but we got to vote. Find me at the polls, August the 3rd through the 16th. One of those polls near you, I'll be there. Come chat with me. Come talk with me. I hope to see your face.
There you go. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me again. And thank you, everyone, for joining me for Tea and Conversation, the change your community wants to see. And until next time, take care and God bless. See you soon, Elvis.
Bye-bye.